The Walloon sword on the sword wheel represents William Bellew. William Bellew was a colonel in the British Army. Now, I don't actually know what he did in his time in England, but in 1640 he was dispatched to the Massachusetts colony to put down Indian uprisings that were going on at that time. The early American colonies relied heavily on the British Army and Navy for protection. Most townships or counties had a militia, but they didn't have a highly trained standing army. Standardization of officer swords hadn't happened yet, so officers of the period were often gifted their swords or purchased their own swords. One of the most popular swords of the period was the Walloon sword, and this is why I think William Bellew would have carried a sword like this. The Walloon sword is considered a broadsword, though most Walloons have a blade that is a bit thinner than what you would normally consider a broadsword, and puts it in the shearing sword category. The blades themselves are 30 inches long, have a lenticular cross-section with a fuller. The guards are symmetrical rings filled in with pierced plates, a knuckle bow, a pommel, a rear quillion, and what makes them somewhat unique is a thumb ring. The thumb ring would be underneath the guard and allow the thumb to sit basically on a shelf, allowing for a cut that is both fast, accurate, and able to keep the sword very close to the body. After being dispatched to the Massachusetts colony, William bought property in Boston where he lived for a number of years until he received a land grant in Henrico County, Virginia. Now, Henrico County is right next to Richmond, and he became the colonel of the Henrico County militia. Now, there he served for a number of years and became the founder of the Virginia line of the Bellew family. The way I designed my English Walloon was to take 3 or 4 examples of the swords that I really liked, and I took the best aspects of those swords and combined them. The measurements and combination of parts that I used come from examples in museums like the Wallace collection or the Tower collection in England, and a number of books that I have. The measurements are all within the historical measurement of that sword. They don't drift out, and I didn't enlarge anything or make anything smaller. I did choose some parts that are on the lean side, some parts that are a little bit more heavy to make a sword that in my hand feels balanced, fast, and aggressive. Now, this sword was actually used on Forged in Fire as one of our test swords when we did the Walloon sword. So I had the opportunity to build this sword not only for a TV show, but for myself, and now apply it to a family member, which really makes it a special sword to me. Now, swords like this have always been a favorite of mine. They not only have an aesthetic that would look fantastic on a British uniform, but they also have the ability to move quickly, be used from horseback, as well as on the ground. One of my favorite cutting swords. That's why on my sword wheel, I give the Walloon sword to Colonel William Bellew.